In this Geometry Dash challenge, my goal is simple. I have to get as many stars as I can, but in only 1 hour. I struggled, persevered, but ultimately gave it my all. This challenge is the closest we will get to speedrunning in this game, requiring strategies to minimize the time spent getting stars so you can get more within the short time frame. So, let's start with Stereo Madness. Wait a minute. The reason I didn't go into Stereo Madness was because it only gives me a single star, when the level is well over a minute long, and time is very precious in this challenge. Featured levels give me even more stars for easier and less hard levels. I passed back on track without issue, but when I got to Polargeist... yeah, I died in this easy part. Rather than trying the level again, I moved on to the next to save time. I passed Gyro and base after base without issue, but then I approached the level I am sure we all still have nightmares about. Can't let go. In order to slay this beast of a level, when I got to the upside down part, I flipped my monitor upside down, taped it to my ceiling, grabbed my controller, and no, I didn't actually do that. I had a close call here but would ultimately die at the upside down part. Yup, I knew I should have flipped my monitor. 9 minutes had already passed, but fortunately I had a big brain idea. Since the first, 8 levels don't give me very many stars for their length, I came up with this one amazing strategy, which is to go for the later official levels. Seriously, Clutterfunk gives me more stars than Tartarus. So I went into Clutterfunk, died to the stupid timing, went into Theory of Everything, went down the wrong path, but finally got a victory when I waved to this fella and beat Electroman Adventures. By now, I started playing in ultra high alert mode, since I had already lost minutes of time because of stupid deaths. After completing Finger Dash, I found myself satisfied with the main levels. I didn't do the demons though, not because I can't beat them, but because this challenge is very stressful. Actually, you know what, with the Theory of Everything 2 80% ship part, I won't lie when I say I stand no chance at beating it. Anyway, after clearing most of the official levels, I came up with another strategy that I was lucky enough to be able to do. I actually have my own rated levels, and if you are a creator, you probably know your levels like the back of your hand. I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. I completed 7 of my 9 rated levels without problem. I almost died in the 8th, but fortunately, 2 years ago when I made the level, I totally predicted that I would do this challenge, so I placed invisible objects to save me. Unfortunately, Past Moldy could not predict Present Moldy's brain failure that he had on his 9th rated level. Yes, I couldn't even beat my own level. Anyway, by now I was at a really slow pace. Half an hour had passed, yet I only had 73 stars. Although, so far I had made some pretty stupid decisions in the challenge. For example, it took me 10 years to type my username to play my levels, and I shouldn't have spent so much time on the early official levels. But nevertheless, this challenge was still far from over, and little did I know the decisions I would have to make in order to finish this journey. Going forward, I had 2 options. I could play the awarded levels, or the featured levels. I ultimately decided on the featured level list since they are supposed to be ordered in quality and of good gameplay. Keywords supposed to. After getting absolutely obliterated by a 6 and a 3 star, I came across an Electroman Adventures remake. Hey, I beat Electroman Adventures easily. There is no way I can die here, right? Well, I went down the wrong path and crashed, seeing nothing but this text mocking me. I then went on to the next level and had zero clue what to do, so I skipped it. Seriously, what did I even die to? I finally claimed a victory when I completed this level with a super long credit sequence. After, I died to a level that was made in class, and died to this level with some really complex visuals. Twice. I then entered the Wastelands and only died once early on. After, I traveled through the corridor, almost hitting this small saw blade. However, the core would eventually kill me by shoving me into these spikes. I then played a level on a mobile device on a computer and did so pretty flawlessly. Until the phone started shaking uncontrollably and I crashed to the stupid timing as the background mocks me by saying I'm amazing. That's a shame, since the level was actually really cool. I then dashed past this flying cube. Little did I know he was actually trying to warn me of the danger ahead, but never got the chance as I went by too quickly. And of course, it was a blind transition. I then went into an easier level, being hard 5 stars, and I was greeted by this lovely fella. He told me he was feeling down, and he later started to cry. I probably would have comforted him if he didn't shoot these fiery lasers at me, which eventually led me into a blind transition. Fortunately, the next level was rather chill, and I ended up beating it without trouble. My win-to-lose ratio was not looking very good, so I decided to go for the awarded tab. I set the filter to only hard levels, as they are hard enough where I actually get good rewards, but not too hard like some of the featured levels I had been playing. I had less than 20 minutes left on the clock, and time was ticking. I so far had only 85 stars, so I needed to work fast. This first level was pretty wacky, featuring these really trippy blending effects. I played the level really carefully and had no close calls, until... Did you see it? Instead of sliding on this slope to get to the dash orb, I instead clicked, switching my gravity. I still hit the orb, but my gravity was inverted, so wherever the end of this thing was, I would end up on the opposite side and crash. Fortunately, I saw my escape. If I let go a few blocks sooner like I was supposed to, I would have hit the spikes and crashed, but I luckily managed to make it through the level even with this insane clutch. In the following level, I died to this practically invisible saw blade. The next level was pretty average. Nothing interesting, so I managed to beat it unharmed. The next level, however, This level, while looking absolutely phenomenal, was a nightmare to play. With all this stuff on screen, I didn't know what was safe and not safe. I managed to clutch through it thanks to some conveniently placed arrows. I was by far the most stressed on this level, and when I got to the end, I looked at my percentage, realizing I was done. However, I now have a grudge against that level. Anyway, the next level was also pretty chill, so much so I felt very confident in myself. I saw this user coin, and hey, it looked super easy to get. Even though user coins are absolutely useless for this challenge, I still went for it and hit the spike. Never trust user coins. Anyway, the next level was also another simple one with nothing to it, so I managed to beat it easily. I died quickly on the next level though because of another blind transition, because critters seemingly can't make enough of these. I then held too long on the next level and progressed to this really cool art level. Unfortunately, I misjudged the part and ended up crashing into this wall. The next level was another chill one, and I managed to complete it. The same goes for the following level, which I beat without trouble. I had finally achieved 100 stars. However, with only 10 minutes left on the clock, for these final 10 minutes, I decided to play harder levels instead, as they reward me with more stars. First harder level I tried was rather chill, but I did have some close calls, such as going for this coin and almost hitting this spike. The next level was quite empty, which is typically good for a challenge like this since it means I can see everything easier. However, blind transition. I would have probably beaten this level wasn't for this timing, but the next level I had to face would prove to be even harder. Opening it, this troll face peeking out of the ground mocked me. Nevertheless, I continued, died, continued again, and continuously got blinded in this spider part thanks to these massive chain designs that would probably look good in literally any other level. I eventually died to this off-screen orb though. I then died in what is supposed to look like a forest, and then continued on to the next level, and was immediately greeted with this sign that basically means this level has awful gameplay, so you better use practice mode or suffer. Of course I chose the latter, and I obviously crashed. The next level is pretty chill, except for this tiny red obstacle that I didn't think would hurt me. The next level gave me a pleasant warning that told me to dim my screen so I could see the actual level, since it is mega bright. But of course I wasn't able to dim my monitor that was brighter than the sun, so I proceeded anyway. Not to mention I can't read more than 3 words in the warning before the level starts. Anyway, despite the level having practically invisible obstacles, I almost did it. Keyword almost. I got worried here but ended up pushing the blocks so I could pass them. I then jumped and out of nowhere this black abyss came and totally obliterated me. There was only 5 minutes left on the clock and I entered this ocean of a level. It was all chill until these steps that I had zero clue how to climb, which eventually led to me drowning in these spikes. This level looked pretty cool, but I died to my own stupidity and just thought it would be an excellent idea to jump straight into this saw blade. I gave the level another go though, and actually beat it. I almost died at the end, but I had learned from the other level never to drop my guard. I then entered this flashy level, and while all the obstacles appeared from off screen for a lot of the first part, these arrows helped me out. Anyway, it was actually a really fun level until I died at 97% to a bug. There was only a minute left on the clock, and because of that, I had only one last chance to get stars. This 1.9 styled level would be the final barrier between myself and reaching victory. I flew as fast as I could through the level, almost dying a few times. I was halfway through the level as it gave me some motivational words. As I approached the end, I would never stop dreaming as my icon spun into the end of the level just as my timer went off. Even through all the mocking and sadness, I persevered. I completed the star challenge with a grand total of 127 stars. For comparison, the best one could probably do in this challenge is 600 stars by beating 60 1-minute long demons. However, that is assuming you do not fail at all, and not to mention that there are shorter demon routes out there. But overall, given only 60 minutes, I think I did well. While there are some things I definitely could have done faster as well as strategies I should have tried, I would say this is a good first attempt. Remember to subscribe if you like this content and want to see me try this challenge again, but this time with better strategies. I hope you all have a great day, as always.